Well, hello and welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation. My name is Thomas, and if you watched the most recent episode of Doctor Who, the Christmas special, The Church on Ruby Road, you'll know that it features a church. And I'm joined by the person who was the vicar of that church at the time of shooting. Is that right?
More or less, as the curate, so as the apprentice vicar, but as in charge of that church.
Wow,
so, yes.
Amazing. And sorry, what's your name for
I'm Samuel.
Amazing. And we're at an intensive at Speak Life where I work. We've known each other and your wife Katie for a while, good friends. Katie was just telling me the other day, oh yeah, did you watch Doctor Who? Yeah, that's our church. And I was like, what? I've got to chat to you. So yeah, how did that come about?
My details are obviously on the website for contacting someone. And they got in touch saying we're filming this thing, sort of being vague about it.
Right.
And we just want to come have a look at the church and see what it's like. So a location person came down, had a look, and went, yeah, this is looking good. So we'll be, And then they then follow up with, oh, it's Doctor Who. And I emailed the person I've been emailing previously going, are you the same? It's quite a coincidence. We've got two different people contacting me about using it, but no, both the same one. It's Doctor Who wants to film at our church.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And where is your church?
So it is St Mary's in Nash, so just outside of Newport in South Wales.
That makes sense. So I guess they're based in Cardiff, aren't they? So they were probably just looking sort of around the area for a suitable church.
Yes. And they'd filmed quite a lot of stuff at Uskmouth Power Station, which is just down the road from the church.
Right.
So one of their earlier specials, The Star Beast, all the industrial stuff is filmed at Uskmouth, along with a bunch of other stuff.
So there was the location scout. What was the next step in that process?
So we had the location scout and a few conversations with them, and then like the entire team turned up. So director, DP, a stunt guy, just this massive entourage of about 20 people descend and don't realise I'm the vicar because I'm too young to be the vicar. And yeah, give them a bit of a tour. And they're like, can we go up to the top of the tower? I'm like, yeah, probably. Can we all go up to the top of the tower? I'm like, it's quite high. It's very windy down
Not
now.
at the same time.
You're at risk. I mean, I take no responsibility if you fall off. Yeah. And we had some of the art department as well, because they were recreating the Spire in studio as well.
And at this point, had you been given a script? Did you have any idea what they were going to use your church for?
Well, the first proper meeting with the location person was basically, here's the vague idea of what we're going to do. There's a Goblin Ship. The doctor's going to... there's a baby left at your church. And then goblins come and try and kidnap the baby, and they're going to pull this goblin ship that's made out of ropes and timbers. They're going to pull it down on the spire, and that sort of gave me a vague idea of what they were talking about. But yes, shortly after that initial visit, obviously had to sign an NDA, so I don't go leaking stuff.
Wow!
And was sent the very specific pages of script. Because obviously there's quite a lot that happens in the episode. Even when it cuts away from the sequences at church, I didn't even have those.
Okay.
Just literally what's happening at the church and the context relevant for it. So I could say yes or no to what they were going to film.
And are you a Doctor Who fan?
Massive Doctor Who.
Wow, so you must have been kind of losing your
my mind. Yes.
Yeah. Who's your favourite Doctor?
It used to be David Tennant, but I think these days it's more Peter Capaldi.
Okay.
I like a slightly darker tone of... Yeah.
Okay, should we talk about the shoot itself? I've got the actual episode, so I was wondering if I could just show you some bits and ask what was that like. So we come straight in to the episode with this beautiful shot of the snow, the narration. There's singing. That's not your church choir.
No, it's not. But church just gorgeous, isn't it?
It is.
That's the nicest it's ever looked. They brought these lovely... So the uplighting isn't ours. They brought that in. I was like, can we keep it? No, we need it back.
What about the Christmas lights on the trees and stuff?
No Christmas lights are theirs. The best thing is the clock isn't ours either.
No way.
The clock is fake. Because it's obviously a key bit of the episode, but we didn't have a church clock. So the clock was fitted as the first thing that went up and the first thing that came down. And by the end of the week, most of the locals had forgotten we don't actually have a clock on that tower.
Right.
They were like, oh, they're done tidying up. Yeah, just got to take the clock down. Take the clock down. Yeah, You've lived here 50 years. You know there isn't a clock on our church tower.
It just looks so natural,
it fits,
doesn't it?
Doesn't it? It looks like it's meant to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. And was the snow real?
Well, not actual snow, but it was practical,
Right.
yes. So the stuff on the roof isn't real.
So they just scattered a ton of...
Massive blowers blasting snow everywhere.
Wow.
And every time they had to do another take, blasting more of the fake snow out. And it's really effective. It looks exactly like real snow. It sounds like real snow when you're walking. It crunches.
I'm loving the snow, although it's not real snow. But because we don't really see snow at Christmas, do we? But it's beautiful. Night shoots. But it is what it is.
We have these ridiculous machines that sort of kick out soap foam that's like snow.
And does it sort of decompose or melt or...
So they can wash it away afterwards.
I
So
see.
huge amounts of water to just dissolve it all and it's gone.
Amazing. Right. And how did your congregation feel about this? Were they...
I didn't expect them. So these shoots were happening very late at night. They were starting at I think 10 o'clock at night for setup. And would wrap, I think, at around 2 a.m, I think. So I thought all my congregation would be asleep because they're a bit older. But most of them were there, just off the side, watching and seeing. Because, it's not every day Doctor Who comes to film at your church. But
Totally. So were you sort of here behind the camera, just kind of watching what was going on?
yes, so most of the time I'm just off shot. I roamed around quite a bit. But most of the time I'm just out of shot watching.
So Ncuti Gatwa was there. And
Ncuti Gatwa running around and
Yeah, and it just looks incredibly Christmassy, doesn't it? That struck me with the opening of this episode of, this is just brilliant. And none of the episode takes place inside the church, does it?
No, nothing inside. The thing is, the interior is a bit weird at this church, so it doesn't look how you'd expect a church to look. It's box pews, 5 foot high.
Right.
So it doesn't look like how you'd imagine the inside of a church looks. So I think they deliberately avoided filming the inside because it's a bit weird.
And was that a drone shot or a crane?
That's a drone. So they had a massive drone that was flying around doing these lovely aerial shots, but also for when Ncuti's running, basically, so that's a drone filming him.
No way.
They didn't bother with tracks or anything because it's rather difficult in a churchyard. So
They've come on so much, haven't they? I remember when drones were kind of very clunky and it had a tiny camera that was pretty low quality.
But they're very impressive what they can do with them now.
Yeah, and a real baby, I presume.
Real baby, twins. It was a case of do a shot. In comes the parents, takes the baby away. New baby comes out.
And who's this character? Was that an actor who?
That's an actor. I had a good chat with him beforehand. They used the sort of village hall as their sort of base for setting things up. And so I had a good chat with him. I was like, what's it like being a vicar?
Right.
A bit of a chat. I discovered afterwards, potentially I could have been the vicar had I mentioned anything. I was like, why are you telling me this at this point in the 2 days before we shoot? I've absolutely done this. But there we go.
There we go. Maybe another time.
Maybe.
Maybe the show will return to this church.
Maybe
you're not allowed
I
to
will
say.
be. I will be back. There's our fake clock.
The clock chimes in. Now, is this also in the same location?
Yeah. So this is just outside the church. They had to chat with all the residents down at the end to put up all this Christmas stuff because they're filming in early February.
Yeah, that must have been freezing.
It was very cold. So it fitted with you felt like it was real snow because it was freezing. It could absolutely have been real snow.
This must have been immensely exciting having the TARDIS.
Oh yeah.
So did they just wheel that in and plonk it down?
it arrives sort of flat pack.
No
as
way.
you sort of see in the behind the scenes, it arrives flat pack. So I just sort of stood there and like, what's that thing over there? That sort of pile of stuff. And the location goes, that's the TARDIS. Like, what? And I look closer, like, oh, it really is. It's the actual TARDIS. It's sort of mildly bizarre.
Yeah.
Stood at the pub looking at your church in the snow with the TARDIS, the actual TARDIS sat there in front of it. It's quite
So cool.
exciting. Because, they've used churches in Doctor Who before, but very rarely is the TARDIS there on location with it. So it feels like the real deal when the TARDIS is there.
I guess the next time we see the church is towards the end, isn't it?
It's much later, yeah.
So today we are filming a scene where I pull a goblin ship down from the sky and save baby Ruby.
The shoot, was it over a few nights then to get both these kind of segments?
Yes, yeah. So they seem to be filming in a slightly random order.
Yeah.
A couple of nights of filming, but, you know, a good week, 10 days of setup and teardown.
Yeah.
And Ncuti can run fast. Like,
Right.
He is quick. Like, there's a reason that they have a drone to chase him. He's
really going for it.
Speedy.
Now, how did they do this? Did they have some kind of pulley system, or is this all added in post?
This is all added in post, so there's no...
The Goblin Ship isn't real.
The Goblin Ship isn't real, I'm afraid. But this bit here, you can see in the behind the scenes, isn't... Ncuti's never at the top of our tower.
Right.
You don't put your star at the top of a tower with a slightly crumbly handrail.
That would be risky.
That would be risky. So they recreated it in studio, which I really wanted to go and see, but obviously not allowed to. You know, but yeah.
And on come the gloves.
On come the gloves.
And it's quite a positive portrayal of church, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
Taking in a baby and then piercing a goblin.
Piercing a goblin with a church spire.
Yeah. You should do an advert for your church that just shows those two clips.
Just those two clips. Come to church.
Come to church.
This is obviously not happening in real life.
Yes.
But from about the point he's at about the roof line, that's him on on the real ladder on a crane, which was really fun to just watch him sort of winched up and then dropped, and then winched up and then dropped, and then...
We built the top of the set here in the studios.
So that's going to be obviously on a controlled set. We haven't got to worry about the weather.
It is strange, like when scenes are fragmented. You might shoot part of it in a studio, you might shoot part of it on location. Woo-hoo! It's always beautiful when you see it come together.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, action!
Here we go.
Look at this. Down he goes.
Straight through.
It's quite Hot Fuzz-esque, isn't it?
It's very Hot Fuzz-esque. I remember chatting amongst some of the location people who are like, the goblin ship pierces through the goblin. You didn't send that bit to the vicar, did you? Like, yes, he needs to. You can't send that to the vicar. He's like, he needs to know.
And this bit, everyone was like, what's going to happen? And then...
Will we save Ruby?
Great hands. And so is that the main door or a side door?
No, so the main door's round the other side.
Ah.
But if they're filming from the other side, you don't have the space. There's no road over that side. It's just fields. We're right on the edge of sort of farmland. So this was sort of invented as the main door. It's actually just the door to the bell tower.
Right.
Yeah. But it works because it doesn't have to be the main door. The vicar comes out. He can be in the vestry, you know.
Certainly. What was it like to watch the episode? Was it
Really
quite
surreal.
Yeah.
Really surreal. I was kind of nervous because I have a real connection to this episode, having watched this and experienced it, of what if I don't like it? That's going to be really just, or what if there's something really sort of bad about it that makes me uncomfortable that, you know, is now in this episode, and I'm going to get a phone call from the bishop going, why is this in here? It's... Yeah.
Right.
But no, it was really fun to watch. And I haven't been able to talk about it. So they'd filmed it in February. I'd been having conversations for months.
Wow.
And because I signed an NDA, I couldn't talk to anyone about it.
Oh, that must have been hard.
Really tough. And like, my family knew something was being filmed at church because I can't come see you. There's some stuff being filmed. Okay, like a period drama thing. I'm like, yeah, why not? So actually, the first time I told my family that Doctor had filmed was after this episode. It was really fun because my dad quipped, you know, oh, you don't have to worry about goblin ships on the tops of your churches, do you? I'm like, no, that is one of my churches.
Ruby was found on a church step in the snow when she was a baba. She'd been abandoned by her mother, and it's really heartbreaking.
Who is her mother? That's going to be a tremendous spine to the series. Who's the mother? Who's the father? Why was she abandoned? How was she left there? Huge plots to come about this.
Now, you don't have to answer this, and we can cut it out.
Okay.
Do you know who this person is?
I don't.
Interesting.
So
a lot of people have been talking about this, haven't they?
So
like, who drops Ruby? Who is Ruby's
mum,
presumably?
It's the big question. So as I say, they were incredibly strict about what I could see. So it's the absolute bare minimum. So I have no idea who that is. I know the actress who plays her. I've obviously met her because she's hanging around with us. But I know nothing of her.
Wow. So that's going to be an intriguing. It's intriguing to see what the series will do with that. Yeah. Great. So yeah, just an incredible. Thanks for sharing that. It's just amazing to hear from the Church of Ruby Road. Like the fact that you're in the title of the episode as well.
I know.
Not just an incidental detail. It's kind of a key part of the story, isn't
it? It's like it's the thing, isn't it, for the episode? Yeah, I updated my Twitter bio to add on former curate at the church on Ruby Road.
Yes.
Right? Why not?
So Sam, you're a Christian vicar.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, are there any ways in which Doctor Who particularly resonates with you as a Christian?
I think for me that Doctor Who at its essence is all about hope. There's this ongoing battle in the universe between the forces of good and the forces of evil. And is there hope that the good will win? Because the forces of evil seem so much more powerful. You've got Daleks and Simon and legions of monsters. And is there hope? I think that's what the Doctor embodies, is that sense of, yes, there is hope. There is this good person. Which is why there's that sense of tragedy in Capaldi's arc of, am I a good person? Because it's not just about the character of the Doctor, it's about, is there hope in this universe? Has the only hope in Doctor Who's universe been corrupted by the forces of evil? And now there is no hope. Which really resonates with me as a Christian, because that's the fundamental question in Christianity almost, is there hope? We see all this light and goodness, and we see all this darkness, and the darkness often feels like it's going to win. Is there hope? And in Jesus we see the light in the darkness that overcomes the darkness, that stops the monsters, as it were. The Doctor's almost like this saviour figure. He doesn't carry a gun or a lightsaber or a weapon. Violence for him is always the last resort. And even as he's trying to stop the monsters, he's trying to redeem them. He won't ever wipe out his enemies completely. He wants them to be redeemed. And that idea in Christian theology that in a sense we've all rebelled against God and we're God's enemies, yet he loves us in it and wants us to bring us back. And won't launch a full-scale attack against humanity, but instead comes to rescue and redeem humanity through the cross. So it's playing with some really big Christian themes, and you can be really on the nose of the Doctor regenerates, Jesus comes back to life. There's much deeper themes of those questions of, is there hope in the universe? Who is our hope in this universe? Will the forces of darkness win? Or is there hope that the light might win?
Wow. And I suppose how cool that the episode that was filmed at your church kind of engaged in that in quite a vivid and visceral way. And it's at Christmas and there's a baby.
At Christmas, there's a baby at Christmas. I mean.
And the spire of the church,
the spire of the church,
the Goblin King,
piercing through and destroying the forces of darkness and rescuing the innocent.
Well, thanks, Sam. It's been great to chat.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for sharing that, and all the best with Vicar stuff.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching, everyone. Do subscribe if you'd like to stay in the loop with there's slightly different video today, but normally we watch through all Doctor Who content. We're currently in the end of the Patrick Troughton era, and also watching the new stuff as it comes out. Well, how long do we have to wait for the new Ncuti series?
I think it's in May, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a little bit to go yet.
Oh, we'll get there.
Waiting with bated breath.
So do stick around, and also join our Discord in the link below if you want to take some of these conversations further. But Sam, thank you very much.
Oh, pleasure.